Hello to all my beautiful people. It's so nice to be back at the Unspoken podcast. Today we are with Cheryl. It's going to be one of the most beautiful, emotional podcasts that we've ever done. Just before we start, I would like to give a big shout out to Brown Bear. This podcast has been sponsored by Brown Bear today. Also, this is officially called the Fraser Show because he's always in the background doing his hard work, and without Fraser and his team, we will not be able to do this. Also, a shout out to David Lloyds for letting us use all of these facilities free of charge. So thank you very much. Cheryl,
hello.
Welcome
Hi.
to the podcast, dude. Just to let everybody know a little bit about Cheryl. Cheryl is a partner of one of my very close friends. He's like a brother to me. We've worked together through charity, and this is how I have met Cheryl. Ever since I've met Cheryl, she's become a sister to me. So this is very personal for me to find out more in depth of what Cheryl has been through in the journey that we are all going to find out about. So thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Just for the viewers, tell us a little bit about yourself, of what you do, and just a little bit about yourself. Who are you? Who are you?
Who am I?
Yes.
I don't really know who I guess I am.
What do you do?
Let's start again.
Yeah. What do you do?
I'm an artist.
Okay.
So I love to paint. I think I spend most of my time in my studio painting. And if I'm not doing that, then I love to write and use my imagination to kind of create stories. But I have written a book before, yeah.
Fantastic. How long have you been, what made you go into art? What made you want to go and start doing art?
So at a very young age, I guess I always liked my mother. She's an artist, so I always used to copy her artwork. And then throughout school, I was really good at art. I found it kind of, you could just lose yourself in art. You can create anything. So it was really comforting to me to know that I could copy something and then get a similarity, like likeness. So I was kind of always pleased with myself when I viewed the artwork. But then that kind of came to a stop, and I had relationships. And then obviously I started again after the aneurysm.
Okay.
So it's a major change.
Is it difficult to do art? Is it difficult to get into art?
Not really. I suppose if you're passionate about something, or if you want to express something, and you don't know how to, I think you can just lose yourself in painting or drawing or doing anything like that's involving your physical hands. Or I don't know. It's really hard to express or explain.
I was very blessed to be invited to your artwork exhibition.
No, thank you for coming.
I came over to witness some of the most masterpieces done by you. I don't know nothing about art, but I saw some of your pieces of work. Some of your pictures that I actually saw, there was one in particular where it was all red and had a lot of black stuff on it, and it portrayed images. And it was very deep. It was a very deep picture. And most of your work like that, does it mean that, like with your artwork, is it to spread a message out?
So that was all about, the title was Indigenous Pies. So it's representing the Australian fire. So obviously you feel sad and connected and you want to help, but you can also feel the pain and the suffering kind of going on. So it is kind of just an expression, an abstract piece, but it kind of spoke for itself, really. And I think that's what, most of my art, I think all artwork speaks for itself. You can give it a title, but that's how I was connecting myself to the fire and how I was feeling at the time, kind of somewhat helpless, but that was just my only way of expressing that I am thinking of the people and the children and the animals and the kingdom, the trees and everything else that was kind of there. So.
Do you base your work on the time of your life that you're going through, and is that what portrays the? Because I find them like every piece was personal, right?
Yes.
And every one of them it shares a journey of something. So
yes.
There were some deep, deep pictures there, man.
Yeah.
So congratulations on your work.
Thank you.
Amazing talent. God bless you. You know, it's been amazing. A little bit about your upbringing. Tell us a little bit about your family.
So my father's from Trinidad and Tobago, and my mother is...
Have you ever been?
No.
Oh, it's supposed to be sick, you know.
Yeah, no, my auntie Cheryl, she lives in Trinidad, and yeah, she does keep saying, come over, and hopefully at one stage I'll get the chance or opportunity to go. And my mother's from here, obviously UK, from Derbyshire. She met my father when she was 17, I believe.
Okay.
My father came over with the Windrush, so he was shipped over by his mother, so he was sent alone. And he grew up in foster care, boarding home in Luton, until the age of 18, and then they went on a lads' night out and went to Yarmouth and met my mum.
Nice,
So,
man.
yeah.
So nice. Brothers, sisters?
Yeah, I have a brother and a sister. Yeah, a younger brother and an older sister.
And are you a close family?
Yeah, we're quite close, yeah. Yeah, quite.
Yeah, it's cool. It's nice.
We have their trials and errors, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a little bit about, so just for the viewers, you have a book out. You've got a book out called Expectations.
Yes.
Where did this word come from, this word expectations? Because it's quite a deep word.
Right, so
Why that word?
because I think I spent the majority of my life kind of growing up or living up to other people's expectation instead of living up to my own expectation. And I think it kind of changed or altered as soon as I had the awakening, which was the aneurysm, which was a blessing in disguise, and people wouldn't see it or say it was like that, but it was actually awakening for me. So expectation felt right. So the first 32 years of my life, I was living up to, you know, other people would always say you'd look better if you were so much thinner, you'd look better if you had longer hair, you'd look better if you was lighter skinned. So I was always kind of felt pulled in every direction, you know, trying to please other people and do what they wanted me to do, or to be, should I say. But it's the pressure of that, and then social media of, you know, seeing beautiful women in the papers, but, you know, behind the scenes, they're all airbrushed and it's not real. So take that all away and you are still who you are. And I think that's what the book really was trying to represent in that title. You know, it's not their journey, it's my journey because it's my life. So the expectation is for me.
And there's a beautiful meaning behind the book.
Yeah.
Just going to go into a little bit more depth in a situation that happened to you, which it happens quite often, but this is for the first time ever, and we're blessed to have such an incredible, a powerful woman like yourself. You're my sister. And again, thank you for sharing this with us, because this has never been, like, we've never done this on a podcast before. I've never in my whole entire life, I've dealt with a lot of cases, I've never come across something like this. I don't want to say it, I want you to say it.
Yeah.
A horrific situation happened to you.
Yes.
In a relationship with you, domestic violence. But this is more than that. I mean, there's an incident that happened with you that you talk about in your book, more in depth. The book you can buy on Amazon, by the way. On Amazon, we're telling people, right? And this book that you wrote, an incident happened with you. Just tell us from the beginning, actually, what happened, and actually this incident. I'd rather you talk about it. And what actually happened.
So the book actually mentions several incidents that kind of went on throughout my life, and I believe it started at the age of 3 with babysitters. So they were kind of taking advantage of me, and my sister, but they were saying to me, you know, you should do this or you should do this, you know, but it was all being naked. So it was...
So at what age?
3 years old. So yeah, I was forced to do things that I wasn't comfortable with. And then I said to my mother one day before she went out, please don't leave us with them because they're making us do rude things. Now, I can't personally imagine how that would feel if that was my grandson saying that's being at such a young age, but to have that traumatic experience at that age, that was a scar, you know, and it kind of made it made me feel insecure. Growing up, you know, having that kind of thing happen. And then it kind of went on to other experiences with like a teacher, locking me in a cupboard.
Sorry?
A teacher. So there was different experiences.
Teacher locked you in the cupboard?
Well, he pushed me in a cupboard more or less, yeah. It was just different experiences. So throughout the book, there's different experiences of abuse. So, or my mum's one of their friends that kind of got into bed with me at the age of when I was 11, and he got in bed naked. So there was loads of different experiences, but the book then goes on to say that I was in domestic violence relationship at the age of 16, where he would kind of chase me around with a meat cleaver. So it was quite serious. It wasn't nothing light. So that was my first relationship of violence. So it was my first relationship, but it was violent. So obviously he'd split my lip and different things. And
what would trigger it off? Was it
just because I would be carrying a tray and I nearly kind of slipped. That was the first incident. So I was carrying a tray. I just cooked him food, and I accidentally nearly dropped the tray. And then with that, he just slapped me so hard across the face. And I thought, I didn't even know. It's like you scream at the time and you think, why have you done that?
Was it the first time you've ever been hit?
Yeah, but in a relationship. Yeah. And I thought, why? I didn't even do anything. It didn't even fall or hit the floor. It's just an accident. But he just freaked out. But that was the first one. And then it just kind of carries on from there. You kind of go home, you think, I'm not going to be with you again. And then they say they're sorry. And then you feel sorry for them. Or maybe they won't do it again.
You live in that kind of hope.
You do.
You kind of live in the hope because then your love is involved,
Yeah.
the feelings are still attached. You think everybody can make a mistake, right?
Yeah, true.
And you go in it again. Talk about the incident, this horrific incident that happened with you, and God blessed you with her. Talk us about that situation that happened with you.
So, the lead up to the aneurysm?
Yeah.
Okay, so, it's a long story to get there, but obviously, I had a child with that was the second relationship I had. So I left the first one, went into the second one, and he was lovely. And I had a daughter with him. But he then started to drink. So he then had a drinking habit, a problem. So I kind of broke away from that relationship. I would have stayed there, but it was, to me, it was like flashbacks of my past, and I didn't want to be there. So I broke away, but I loved him, and to this day, I think highly of him. But unfortunately, he took his own life. So anyway, but I was in another relationship after him with my son's father, and he was very violent as well. And to the point where, I was holding my son when he was like maybe 2 or 3 weeks old, and I'd run upstairs to get my son out of the crib, and he came in drunk and was pulling my hair while I was holding my baby, and he was just pounding me on the back of the head. It was like pulling me from one room into another room, and I ended up at the top of the stairs, and I don't know how. It just happened so quickly. But when he had left, I realized when the police had come around, because I did report it at the time, I'd bit a hole straight through my tongue. So it's because I was constantly saying, he's crying, but he just didn't care. So it's like, okay. And then with that, years went past. Anyway, I broke from him when, I think that was the final straw, because it was either him or me. Yes, 6 or 7 years went past, and then he was still quite violent and still in the background trying to keep control of anything that I did. And I was in a club, and as I said, he was in there as well, and he said, can I speak to you for a minute? And I said, no. I said, I will in a minute. And with that, he just punched me so hard in the side of the head. So I was on the floor, and I don't actually know what happened from there. It was, it was like a blur, and he was at the club.
You so hard.
Yeah.
You fell on the floor.
Yeah.
And you passed out.
Yeah.
How long you passed out for?
I don't know.
So you passed out for, so you literally died.
Well, I didn't die then. So a couple of months after that incident, I ended up, one day I just woke up with chronic pain in my back. This was about 2 months after that. And then they'd taken me into hospital, and they kept me nil by mouth for about a week, and done all these tests, but couldn't find anything wrong. So then they released me, and then 2 days later it was my birthday, so I wanted to go uptown. I'd had a splitting headache that day, and I'd had suffered with these headaches for the past year and a half. And so I'd gone uptown on my birthday, gone into a second-hand shop in the British Heart Foundation, and my mum was with me and my friends, Lizette and Christine. And they were both with me, and I said, oh, my head. And then with that, I don't recall anything else. Then my mum took over. But what I'd found out, because I woke up 5.5 weeks later, so I was in a coma from then, from when I passed out in the shop.
So you pass out, you got into a coma.
Yeah, so I passed out. What my mum took over from there, and she said what happened was, obviously I was sweating profusely, and they'd called an ambulance. The ambulance came in. There was a friend of mine, Laurie, her name is, and she took me into the ambulance, and because she knew I'd kind of died, she shocked me, stabbed me in the heart.
Sorry?
To bring me back, because I'd already died in the shop, so she knew.
Stabbed you in the heart?
In heart, to revive me.
Oh, like,
adrenaline. Yeah. So she said it was the worst day of her life for her. Yeah, to witness that, and knowing someone, that she kind of, she was a friend of mine, so all I remember is waking up, and my brother was sitting at the side of me, and he said, "I've got your money." I went, "No, you haven't." And then, I tried to get out of bed, but there was all wires and tubes in me. And
you got shocked?
I was in the hospital, so I was in, I don't know what ward it was, but intensive care. But that was the first time I remember waking up after.
Initially from the shop? From
the shop to that moment.
To the hospital?
Yeah.
It must have you didn't know what to think.
No, it was just, as I said, it was like I'd only just gone to sleep and then woke up, but it was
Were you happy to see your loved ones there, like your family?
I suppose it didn't kind of really register what had kind of happened, because I didn't know, because my mum kept telling me, and she'd kept a diary of taking photographs, hoping that I was going to pull through, because she was told when I'd first passed out, when they took me to hospital, that I was too far gone. So 3 parts of my brain was covered in blood, and I only had 48 hours to live. So they told my mum that, and obviously my mum's in a panic, and Laurie, the angel, the paramedic, she got back on the phone to Adam Brooks and said, please, there is a chance, please take her. And with that, they said, okay, bring her down. So if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And this was all thanks to the
paramedic.
Big love to the paramedic. Big love. That's nice though, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Do you think that in this whole journey, I believe that God tests the people he loves?
Yes.
But are you religious?
In a sense, yes, I am.
Do you believe in God?
Yes.
Okay. So do you believe that the whole journey until now, what do you think that was a reason why you had to go through what you have gone through? Because a lot of people that are involved with domestic violence, women and men, that are still going through this kind of thing. Why do you think that your journey was so horrific until today? Why do you think you went through it for?
Well, I think throughout the book, as I said, going through different experiences in life and then reflecting back on them, you think maybe they're for a reason, to teach you a lesson, and I don't mean it in the sense of, we have to have something bad happen to us to make us realize. It's just certain things that had gone on in my life. I thank them now, those experiences, no matter how traumatic or disturbing they may be. I am who I am because of those experiences. And it's only through awakening and probably that aneurysm, which was a blessing in disguise, as I said, that's kind of helped me on my journey to appreciate I've got a second chance to make my life count for something now. I could sit back and say, why me? Why is this all happening to me? But life is so short. You've got to kind of make the most of it and enjoy it and turn everything from a negative into a positive, because it's gone in a blink of an eye. And that's the thing that most of us are not realizing, which I think is a gift.
Powerful. You're remarkable. It's powerful for people to go through a journey like yourselves, and to come out on the other side to talk like this. It's amazing. I congratulate you for being a powerful woman and coming over all this kind of stuff. Does this, do you ever, as a human being, do you ever have flashbacks in your past?
I do. I think there's trigger points with everybody, so we can't go through life blindfolded, blindsided. I know some people I don't mean in disrespect. Yeah. Take that back. Yeah. But you have to kind of be aware. I forgot where I was going with that, sorry. What did you say, sorry?
No, I just said, do you get flashbacks?
So there's trigger points.
No matter how positive you are, there's something triggering you off. Does it take you back there?
When certain things happen, but then, instead of it being negative, I can always say, look, I can remove myself from a situation or circumstance. Sorry, that's not right, right?
Yeah, take your time.
Yes, so I can remove myself or say to the person, look, I feel uncomfortable right now, so I need to kind of, go.
As a therapy, you know how to fix yourself now?
I'm not going to lie, I still get mood swings. I think that's just a part of who we are, for all the moods, I can be happy, I can be sad, I'm very hypersensitive, so I'm more in touch now with how I'm feeling. So if I understand that, then I can either remove myself or just speak to that person, just say, look, you're making me feel uncomfortable, or this is not fair, or this is happening and I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel right, so,
At that particular moment, somewhere around the world or even in the UK right now, somebody is going through what you've been through right now this second. Is there anything in particular that you would, what you know right now, and God forbid, and if you were back into that situation again, would you know how to deal with it then or not? Or is it something that is just like it's going to happen? You can't do nothing? Do you feel powerless?
I did feel powerless. I suppose because it's about self-worth. Now, if you know you don't deserve to be in this position, then remove yourself. I know it sounds easier said than done, but it's actually true if you want it to be true. If something doesn't feel right, remove yourself. If you know your instincts, everything about you is saying, this shouldn't be happening, then do something. There is help. There is help out there for people. You may feel like you're alone. I felt I was alone. I couldn't talk to anyone. I didn't want to talk to my mum. I didn't want to burden anyone with my problems. But there is one person, there is somebody, if you just reach out and believe it, even if you're picking up a phone and talking to a stranger over, the Samaritans or some of these helplines, there is help out there for domestic relationships or, violent relationships. In places where you don't want to be, there is something for everyone.
Where did your help come from?
Sorry?
Where did your help come from for yourself personally?
It's believing in myself. So
Did you ever think that if I had a chance, I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to ring someone, who would it be? Did you do that? Is there somebody? No. No way.
No, that's the ironic thing. I didn't do that myself, but I never knew there was any help out there.
You had no family, friends, nobody you could trust and say, listen, I've been battered, I need your help.
I think my brother kind of knew, my mum knew, and they were all saying, my grandmother knew, and they were saying, Cheryl, you don't deserve to be in a relationship. But at the time, you don't realize or believe it. You think you are supposed to be there and supposed to be treated like that. So that's where, again, I believe it's all down to self-worth and how you think of yourself and your own happiness. And if you don't have any confidence, or you're insecure and you've believed what somebody has told you, in their vicious ways, it's not a nice place to be. It's so desperate, but you're kind of lost in this dark place, and it's really horrible from what I remember, to be in and not be able to confide in anybody or tell anyone, because I felt so guilty and ashamed of myself.
Why? Is it your fault?
Because you believed everything they said. Because so he would tell me, "Oh, you're black. Who's going to believe you? You're this.
Because you're black."
Yeah, you deserve to be abused because you asked for it. I thought, what? At the age of 3? So that's what I'm saying. The mental mind games that someone play when you're in a domestic relationship
right?
is domestic
that's
violence.
evil, man.
But that's what they do. That's how the control starts to begin. So they lead you into a path of that false security. And say, well, we're going to do this. So it's all nice to begin with, and then it turns into...
Especially when you believe, especially when you believe everything. You're a kid.
Yeah.
So you think, oh, maybe it's because I'm black, or maybe it's because it's white.
It's because, because we were the first mixed race people in the town. So we had a lot of racist abuse. And then, as I said, if you try to mold yourself into their way of being, you start to believe everything that everyone's saying, and you start to believe you're not good enough to have a good relationship. You're not good enough to deserve happiness or, be in a nice place or anything. It's
being in this
they strip you of your confidence, and I think that's what it is.
And you feel horrible. You feel like I'm worthless.
Yeah. Well, what can I do?
What can I do?
Yeah.
Was there any point in this journey that you were at of saying, I don't want to be here? Did you ever think about suicide?
Yeah. I've done several. I've tried several times.
Have you?
Yeah, and I've been in hospital, and they wanted to keep me in there and section me, and I pleaded with them. I wasn't thinking straight, but even at that time, I still wasn't thinking straight. So you would say anything to get yourself out of a position. But within hindsight, and it's an amazing gift. If I only knew a little bit of what I know now, or read it, if I had the knowledge to read something that would make me aware of situations and that there is light at the end of the tunnel, I probably wouldn't have done what I did.
Wow.
But there was nothing for me at the time.
How many times did you try to kill yourself?
Probably about 3 times.
3 times, yeah? You must have been at the lowest point of your life, right?
Well, you do. When you're abused so many times, time and time again, that's what I'm saying. There's so many different accounts of abuse in the book. And you think, why me? Why me? Then, as I said, you kind of wake up and realize, or the blessing as it is, and then you reflect back on life and you go, no, it's not why me. Thank you for those experiences. I'm still here.
Fantastic.
And then you have to keep carrying on from there on.
So just to sum this up, horrific childhood as well. Horrific childhood.
Yeah.
Loads of horrific things happened to you.
But I do painting now, so that's a
yeah.
good thing.
So from that moment of you being born, got a family, still got friends, but for a dark time, died, came back alive, tried to commit suicide 3 times. But today you are one of the most powerful, beautiful women on the planet. Talented, my girl, my sister. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On becoming the woman that you are today. This is so important that we absolutely nail this, of all the things that have happened to you. And look at you today, dude. Look at you today, man. Did you ever think in your life that you'd be sitting here talking about the story?
No.
And helping others? This is going to help a lot of people in your situation, that you used to be in that situation. If there is a message that you want to give to any woman or man who is going through domestic violence right now, what would it be?
There is light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay.
It's just believing in yourself and your self-worth, and having the confidence to go, I deserve better. So make it happen. It's down to you to make it happen. So there is help out there for everybody. So you just have to just Google it or use something. There is something for everyone. So yeah.
But do you feel powered? Do you feel like solid now? Do you think that you can take a lot after what you've been through?
I feel
what's
I would
happened now?
never. I will not put up with shit.
Yes, yes,
Excuse
yes,
language,
yes,
but yeah.
yes, man. People don't know shit. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Love that. That's so nice. It's refreshing actually to witness this. This is a special moment. As I said before, we live by moments.
Yeah.
And this whole thing, I learn a lot too. I learn a lot from you. You inspire me in many ways.
No, you inspire me.
No, you
I mean,
inspire
you do
me.
so much
No,
great
honestly.
work.
You inspire me, and I love meeting people like yourself that are so full of heart and full of soul that speak about this. Because you know why? People don't talk. You'd be
No.
so surprised, or maybe you won't. But I know people who are going through so much. They won't do it because of shame. What people are
It's
going to think
guilt,
about
yeah.
me. I might, if I lose this individual, I won't get in it. Look at you got the most beautiful partner ever. Well, it looks a bit like a Trump on chips, but with that shirt on, but horrific shirt. It's like a Trump on chips, man. Anyway, he hasn't read he has not read the book. Disgusting. Get rid of him, man. Get rid of him. Anyway, but your life has moved on. You have got a beautiful, lovely partner. Your life is amazing. It's honestly, it's remarkable.
Well, it's about taking small steps
Of
and
course.
achieving something, greater than you ever imagined.
There's a great saying of a man who said, "Never stop climbing, because on
No.
top, as soon as you reach on top of another on the top of the mountain, there's a bottom of another.
Yeah.
So that climb never ends, and the hustle is real.
Yeah.
Let's get this right. You know this
It's climbing the ladder of
Yeah.
life. So every step there
This
might be a break,
grind of
but just keep
life.
going.
the grind of life and this uphill battle. It's real, man.
Yeah,
I
life
live
is
it
full of
every
obstacles.
single day,
Yeah, it's a challenge.
and I witness every day. I witness the most craziest things every day. But I'm blessed because I could be a part of it, to save someone or learn from
Well,
someone.
I think that's what it's all about, is helping somebody else. So if you can kind of say something to anybody to help them, I think that's what we're all here to do, is to connect with someone else and help someone else along their journey. And that it's a ripple effect, isn't it, of
I'm
life?
so proud of you. I'm proud of the woman that you become. I'm proud of the talent that you have. Also, to touch base on it, your artwork. If anybody wants to see your artwork and they want to buy it or they want to learn more about you as an individual, first of all, where can they buy the book?
So that's on Amazon. So it's called Expectation and Life Half Lived.
Okay.
And that's on Amazon.
Okay. And your artwork, is there a website? Is there any way?
Yeah, there is a website. It's called soulfulart.co.uk.
Okay.
There are only a few paintings on there which needs to be updated, but I will do that ASAP.
Okay. If there was somebody in Pacific that wanted to say to you, right, I've got an idea. I want you to do a picture of something.
Okay.
And I want you to make me a design, and I want you to design a painting for me. Do you do stuff like that?
Yeah, I can do something like that. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So that's for
I
offer
can
as well.
copy, or I can interpret my own design on top of that. Yeah. So it's about adding your twist. Yeah.
So has anybody ever told you to do that before?
Yes, I've done it a few times.
Oh, you do that for a lot of people and stuff?
Not
yeah?
a lot of people, but I have done it, and they're happy with the results. So yeah.
Brilliant stuff, excellent stuff. So I just want to wrap this up. First of all, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations to Cheryl, my sister. An amazing podcast where we speak about suicide. We speak about things that we don't normally talk about somebody passing away and waking up and realizing I've got a second life. God's given us another chance. Powerful, amazing, beautiful, funked up, man. Talented. This is a proof, this is an evidence of an individual that's been through the most darkest times, but today sitting here and sharing a story. So I would like to say thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being an amazing sister. She eats a hell of a lot as well. My God.
Chocolate.
A chocolate. An amazing gift. So God bless you. Thank you very much. If anybody wants to see more of Unspoken, please follow us at Atiq Reyman, Unspoken Atiq on YouTube. God bless my beautiful people. We're out of here. Come on.